Okay, rolling out. We are back. It's your host, Crystal Jordan. This Monday night reality check is back to back. And okay, I wasn't back in 2 seconds, but trust me, our second guest is worth every bit of the wait. She is the grande dame of love and marriage Huntsville, and she is back. And I know you guys have seen this amazing trailer. You've heard all the rumors and everything swirling around. So we had to get Miss Melody Holt to go ahead and join us to talk about this season, what is going to happen. We know Melody's going to give us all the tea and get the season started off right. So please help me welcome the very beautiful Melody Holt. Welcome, Melody.
Hi. Hello. How are you? Thank you so much for having me today. How are you doing?
I am great. It's great to see you. It is great to see you. Look beautiful.
Thank you so much, as do you. It is always a pleasure getting a chance to just sit down and chop it up with you. So I always look forward to getting to talk to Crystal, honey.
Thank you. We always have good conversations. The people are there. They love it. First of all, I think that the example you said, I love when people are able to turn pain into triumph. And we have watched you do that and come out victorious. So I am excited to hear what is going on next. But before we get into that, like I told you, we got to play this trailer because
it's already coming out here.
Girl, what is going on in Huntsville, Alabama? We're going to play this trailer and then we're going to come back and get into it. Is that cool?
That's cool.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let me pull this up because Lord Jesus.
Yes.
It's going down in Huntsville.
Season on Love and Marriage Huntsville.
I think we probably need assistance in how we parent. Financially, I'm not doing as good. I've been what we call stuck.
But you don't get to stop because you have now 5 children.
Why are you doing that?
Because it's the truth.
We're talking about the 4 children that you and I have.
You got 5.
Then stop. I don't want to talk about that at all. So stop doing it. I'm serious, okay?
You got what you want. You want to buy kids.
Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Did you get DNA test?
Let's stop talking about Martell Holt's business all the time because everybody got something going on.
Tell me about the rumor, man.
Ooh.
So you got a baby out here.
I forgive you yet, outside child.
Would you?
Yes.
I would divorce you and take back everything you can have.
It's a choice versus obligation. Do I want to stay in this kid's life or do I want to keep it moving?
Yes, you know Tiffany.
I don't.
Oh, what's up?
I for sure knew LeBaric. And then I met you. I said, oh, didn't I see you yesterday? Your outfit yesterday was so cute. And you were like, that wasn't me.
Oh, who was it?
I don't know. I still don't know who it was.
I got a problem with Miss Melody Holt because she brought this lady, Tiffany.
Monster was vaping in the bathroom.
Listen, she said monster vaping.
Why you got all this stuff in your room? Put it in the dishwasher.
So that's messy already.
I'm not Malia, Milani, Mariah,
And
or
I feel like
Martell.
okay, you're
and
kind
I
of
felt
elevating
like
your voice a little bit, Destiny. You don't have to be aggressive with me. You don't
This
have
is
to
the
be
side
aggressive
that you
with me.
haven't met, and this
And
is
I
what
have
I
the side
don't
you
want
haven't
you
met,
to
and I
meet.
don't want to go there.
It's your choice.
So calm
It's
down.
your choice. It's
Well,
not even on a level
okay.
yet.
I don't see. I hear
Stop
it.
the talking and
I
tell
don't
me
go
what
by
I
what I
said on
hear.
social media.
I don't go by what I hear. I go by only what I
Can
see.
you tell me what the you see?
A lot of
Didn't say it.
You jumped up and started hitting on the table like, shut the up.
Really?
I know you are.
I think it's disrespectful, period, and it's never come out of my mouth to a human being.
Martell, I'm going to knock you upside your head. Everybody needs to stay in their lane.
Aside from excuses, what would you give yourself? Like,
What do you mean
grade?
aside from excuses?
Do you plan on building up on 47 acres?
Why would you go to Melody?
Your ass ain't never built a house. Bye.
Oh, I built houses, Martell Holt.
This girl in the red dress, I had to go snatch you up. We just haven't been as connected. I feel like, I'm just getting ignored.
He knows I can appreciate another woman.
So you would have a threesome?
If you called Maurice, he'd give you a name.
You know, I shot my video the other day.
That bull. Go ahead.
That's rude as hell.
Don't mention that you shot a video about a song about your ex-husband that we got 4 kids together.
And my song ain't just about you.
You and my kids walking around the house singing that motherfucking song 2 years ago. Shut up. Let's just take a break for a second. You planned our divorce.
Love and Marriage Huntsville season premiere Saturday, July 17th at 9/8 Central. Part of Real Drama Weekends on OWN.
Oh, it's a lot to unpack.
Just, I'm tired. I mean, you guys got a lot going on this season. A lot, every season. Melody, I don't even know where to start. I guess the first thing, because so many people watch your story, and I think that your story is a lot of women's story. A lot of people can relate. It is the aftermath of divorce, and the aftermath of divorce is, I think we talked the last time, you knew what you were doing. You knew it was time. You did everything you could to save the marriage, and so now you are moving on as we kind of saw that you would. But it looks like your ex-husband is having a really hard time understanding what divorce means. Would you agree with that? Because it seems like he's not really understanding. This is how things go when a marriage falls apart. You do things and the marriage is over. Now we don't. It's very different. Speak a little bit about how the I guess you guys have tried to co-parent, and then just living now separately, and you not owing him anything and him not owing you anything. How have you guys been adapting to this new life?
So first, I will say that when it comes to co-parenting, you know, definitely something that is new for us, but not as new to the point that we should still be having as many issues as we're having when it comes to that. Because you know, true enough, we just got divorced officially in March, but we've been separated for over a year. So when it comes to the children and them going between the both of us, that's not new. So sometimes I don't understand why we still have so many issues, to be honest. I can say it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And some days are better than others. I do have hope. I'm hopeful that eventually we will get to a point where it's a lot smoother. But you guys will get to see that process and what it looks like, and the unfolding of all of that. When it comes to the acceptance of I'm no longer yours and you're no longer mine, let me just say that's a hard pill for you to swallow right now.
Yeah.
You know,
As
some of the things I've heard is, you know, I know it may sound crazy, but I just, you know, even though I was doing what I was doing, I didn't think that this would be the end result. So it's almost like reality is just now hitting him in the face. For me, it comes off as an insult, because I feel like, well, what kind of woman did you think I was that I was going to stick around through all of that? Like, how can I see, you know, us not being together as the end result of what you've been doing? So he's definitely at a place now where he's having, I will say, you know, just a hard time accepting that we're no longer one, and that, you know, you don't get to control me. You don't get to control what I do. And so that's difficult. I mean, we were together for 14 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys know I'm gonna keep it honest here. I'm not surprised at the difference, because the last time we talked to you, you were very much, you know, confident about your decision. The last time we talked to Martell, he was kind of thinking that there was a little chance, throwing out hints that he wanted to try to get his marriage back. And to his defense, I think a lot of men don't understand what happens when, you know, your actions catch up with you and these are the consequences. It's kind of like, you know, I don't think that's necessarily what he wanted, even though his actions may have suggested that. So co-parenting is one thing, but you guys also were business partners. And I think that also has got to be a huge adjustment. How have you been adjusting to no longer having your business partner? Because you said the last time when things were good, you guys were that power couple. You did encourage each other business wise. How has that been different now, you know, working on your own and kind of stepping into the forefront as a leader without that business partner by your side?
So definitely, I will say Melody and Martell, the power couple, power duo brand, something that we worked for many years to build and grow. Now me having to build entirely new brand, the Melody Holt brand, it has been a lot of work. It has been a lot of work, but I have been up for the challenge. One thing about me, Crystal, I've always been a hard worker, and I'm not one to run challenges, you know. So I'm one of those people. I'm gonna try to give it all I got until I ain't got no more. So well, I've just continued to work hard, to grind, grow, network, rebuild myself. You know, this isn't anything I asked for. I didn't ask for years of infidelity in my marriage and for me to be a divorced, now single mom, or nothing that I in any way thought would be, you know, a part of my life, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really literally had to pick myself up and continue going because of the fact that I do have 4 children, to make sure they're good, to make sure that they are in a home that is positive, and that they have what they need and most of what they want.
I love that. I love that. Well, in addition to your business, because we know you guys were in real estate, that's how we met you. You have a whole new career happening. I see photo shoots. You got your video came out, the song came out, and like I said, you were able to turn that into paying into empowering for yourself. But to me, the song was not just about your story; it was about so many other women's stories as well. What has that process been like, putting that out and getting a chance to rediscover one of your passions that you probably had to kind of put on hold for a while as a wife and mom?
Absolutely. It has definitely been a relief mechanism for me to express my emotions and just release, you know, different emotions and feelings that I've experienced as I've gone through this traumatic experience. Work with some amazing people in the industry to help me, you know, pen and produce, you know, a R&B chart type song. So I'm thankful for that. I recently, you know, finished my video that will be dropping in the next week or two. So I'm excited that. And of course, I've been in the studio making more music. I got my first that I'm actually that will occur July 31st. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I will say getting into the music industry is something that was totally new and different for me. So what I learned, I felt myself in the beginning having a little bit of anxiety. And so what I learned about myself, because what I've tried to do, Crystal, is on this new journey, is learn male, right? So I'll put on my hashtag male learning male. So I when I'm 22, I'm a 35 grown ass woman with 4 kids. So I'm a whole different person.
Yeah, that's a lot different than a 22-year-old with stars in her eyes. Absolutely.
So one thing that I have learned about myself is that when I am in the unknown, I don't feel comfortable. I like to know the ins and outs. I'm a person who has to know the ins and outs of everything. So the industry at first, I was a little anxious, a little nervous. So I began to study the same way I did when I got into the construction industry. I began to study so that I personally knew what was going on and what needed to happen. And so, you know, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling great. I'm positive, optimistic about what's to come. Looking forward to giving you guys some more amazing music. And as you said, my song is not just about my situation. While you see my situation in it, when I entered the studio and we began penning this song, we realized myself, the writers, producers, all of us in some shape, form, or fashion had experienced a lot of what we ended up penning. So, you know, that's why in the trailer, you know, it's like, look, my song ain't just about you. Like, that sounds good. I know you like for it to be, but this is a story of so many people, especially women.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, because that is a huge, I mean, it's I hate to say this, but it's one thing for a significant other to have it's, you know, for there to be infidelity, but for there to be a proof of that, that is I mean, that is a heartbreak that a lot of people would not be able to recover from. A lot of women deal with it in silence. And, you know, I don't love the fact that you went through it, but I love the fact that you are a strong example that, you know, you can get through heartbreak. But that had to be very, you know, traumatizing when you first learned about it. I know you probably knew about it before we knew about it. Obviously, there's a little bit of time between when the show airs and when you guys are going through things. Can you talk a little bit about just how that felt, knowing that was that the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, I can't do this anymore, when you found out there was an actual baby?
Okay, so, you know, this is going to sound probably a little interesting, but here's the thing. To be honest with you, I had already left before. Me choosing to walk away from my marriage for good, I didn't even know anything about another child at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it had nothing to do with another child. So when I found out that there was another child, for me, it was just confirmation that I made the right decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was confirmation that I made the right decision. And so while I can understand maybe some people who experience that and they're just totally heartbroken, I had already left. And so I didn't get all of those feelings that I imagine, right? That so many probably get.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's probably better because your heart had disconnected from it before, because that would have been very, very difficult to.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that it would have been very difficult.
Yeah. And it seems like Martell has a hard time accepting that is what.
Contrary to popular belief, and you guys will see, as you watch this season, I'm not that person who's over here. Like, I'm actually encouraging, like, hey, I even long before we started taping this season, hey, like, when are you gonna, like, when are you gonna do this? This is what needs to happen. I'm not that person sitting over here saying they better not ever meet them. I'm not that, because first of all, that's not love. Okay. And I try to, in everything I do, as best as I can, to operate in godly love. So I'm not a person. But also, it's only my business to an extent. So I can't make anybody do anything. You know what I'm saying?
You have definitely evolved. You know, when you went,
girl,
I was like, I'm okay with that. You know, she has healed. God has moved her forward. She is good. That is how you know that you are truly over something. Note to all the women out there watching, when you can have that type of strength to say, I'm going to continue to operate in love, and this is what's right for the children. That is commendable. And I'm not going to lie, Melody, I don't know that I would have been there that quickly. It probably would have taken me a little bit longer, just because it's just like, for real? It's taking him longer.
Let me tell you, and you guys will see this play out. But I mean, honestly, I even offered, I was like, hey, I will be present when you let them know if you want me to, just so that they see that mommy is okay, so that they're even, better in accepting what has happened. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not over here bitter, miserable, hateful, none of that, girl. I'm trying to live my best life and make this whole brand pop like I needed to pop. Okay.
I am not mad. We are not mad at that. We know that you're doing, the singing, and then you also been hosting, shows for OWN. How has that experience been? Because the great thing about that is you've got a chance to tell some great stories, with really some amazing celebrities and their moms and different things like that. How has that experience been? And how has that helped you to grow professionally?
Absolutely. So one of my goals was to, become a host, in terms of my entertainment career. And so when Carlos King, y'all already know Carlos is
the man.
Made that phone call about Behind Every Man and was like, so we presented it, gave Oprah your name. She said yes. I said, okay. I was like, okay. And I up because I felt how significant for me to be able to host an amazing show that's showing light, shining so many amazing women and what they've experienced and overcome, when I was also, just having experience working through my own trials and tribulations. I mean, I feel that it was divine alignment all day.
Yeah. I remember when I saw that you were doing it, I think, wow, that's great, because it allows her to be speaking on positivity and keeps, because when you go through something like that, it's like it's a fork in the road. You can either choose to look at all the positive situations and focus on bringing that to you, or you can get stuck in the pain that you've experienced. And so I thought, wow, that's really cool that she's getting that opportunity to be a part of some great inspirational stories like that. So congratulations. And we enjoy seeing you do that, Melody. Now, the great thing about this show is that it does show African Americans working together, building empires, speaking legacy into their children and things like that. And there's friendships in addition to that. So we see you guys, we met this group as the comeback group and group of friends, but it seems like what everybody has going on inside their house caused problems and cause friendships to break down, more so with the women than the men. Why do you think we see the women struggling? Because just in my opinion, and again, like I said, I always keep it honest with you. I feel like a lot of the breakdown is because when you see something happening outside your house, you become afraid that that could happen in your house. And so you kind of start to act out in different ways. And if you're going through something, it's got to be difficult to really, stay positive with friendships. But the men seem to be able to see things happening outside, deal with it, and keep their friendship, where the women continue to struggle.
That's most men relationships. That's what they do.
They do. We should learn from that, though, because they get mad at each other, talk crazy about each other, and then they see each other and they're fine. Where women, we're sitting there like, I'm still not cool with you now.
Y'all gonna have to watch this season, because you just never know how things may unfold between the ladies. You got to watch.
Well, I hope that definitely happens. I'll say I really hope that you and Tisha, because I feel like you guys are at different places in life at different times. And sometimes having somebody to help you mature in a way that you weren't there, they got there before you, can be helpful. Sisterhood has to go up, it has to go across, and it also has to go down, because you never know. So I do hope, I'll go on record saying I do hope that you guys are able to really get back to where you were initially. That's my hope. So if that happens, you got to come back and talk to us later in the season. But talk a little bit about just the friendships and how you've been able to kind of maneuver now that you guys are no longer a couple, but you guys both still have friends that are couples, and you guys came into this as a couple, and now it's like, okay, now it's Melody by herself, but you still want to maintain those friendships.
Absolutely. I think that overall, everyone that we have friendships with, they respect our decision. And so I think everyone just wants the friendship that we've had to continue on despite the divorce, And at the end of the day, building and giving support to each of us in their own way, they're all doing that. I think that is kind of whenever you're put to the test, that's your true love kind of shows, or that friendship comes out, right? That's what I would say. With the people in the group is just, genuine trying to be supportive.
Yeah. What did you learn about yourself, or what have you learned going through these seasons, publicly going through all of this, talking to people, talking to women, I'm sure that are in your DMs? What has been like? Give us maybe 2 or 3 of the biggest lessons that you've learned personally.
Yes, I have learned. One, I have learned I'm a badass cookie.
There you
go. Listen.
There you go. Yes, ma'am.
Straight up, like people's opinions, because everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody say what they think you should have done or what you should do and all of that. Those don't faze me. Like the fact that I can sit here and honestly say they don't move me.
Yeah.
I'm a strong Black woman for real, because it doesn't move.
Right.
I'm very much so a person who's gonna move the way I want to move, when I want to move, how I want to move. I'm not easily influenced. Okay. So I've learned that about myself. Also, I would say that I have learned, while I've always been a people's person, always doing things since I was a kid, pageants and competition, singing, all kind of talent shows and all of that. Always, every organization in the school I'm a part of, 9 times out of 10 president of. I've just always been doing stuff. But what I learned in this season is that I also enjoy my alone time.
Yeah.
And when I say that I have had more alone time this past year I have ever had, I'm talking about where I ain't got to deal with nobody, talk to nobody. I don't want the TV on, nothing.
That's that grown woman. That's when you get that grown woman space. Like, I am good just on my own. Like, I just need some me time for me. And I enjoy that. That's a grown ass woman.
Real talk. I was as a matter of fact, my mom was in town this weekend, and I was in my room, nothing but quiet, me sitting in the bed. She came in there, turned the TV on. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But I can't say nothing because that's my mama. But that's
not right.
So
yes.
I just really, despite me loving people, and I do get energy. I'll be real. I get energy from being around people. I also have learned I enjoy my me time and my quiet time. And so I think that is what's been helping me through the journey, and also just learning more about myself.
Yeah.
In those quiet moments, I'm
Yeah.
learning more about myself. So I really do. I feel really good. Even watching the trailer, I'll be honest with you, and seeing myself and Martell, you know, arguing. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really argue with nobody.
Yeah.
Real talk. I don't really argue with anyone anymore since I'm no longer in a marriage. So that's new for me. Again, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, like when I was watching the trailer, I was like, who is that girl? Like real talk, I don't even argue with people. I very much love and appreciate calmness and stillness, and it's nice. It's wonderful.
Yeah. That's, again, good signs that you are in a great place. If you're just joining us, we are talking with the one and only Melody S. Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville. The show is returning in July, and people have been on pins and needles. We have been keeping up. We love OWN here on Reality Check and Rolling Out, and we have been watching Ready to Love, and it seems as though the shows have kind of intersected, which is very strange. There's a lot going on. People are asking in the comments about the young lady, but I'm not going to ask you to talk about anyone else's business.
Somebody say, I don't know. Don't be asking me now, because I don't.
I already know. I'm not going to ask you about anybody else's business, but I will ask you about yourself.
Okay.
Because I can relate to you in that I got married very young, and I went through a divorce. But when I got married in my 20s and had children, and when I ended up going through my divorce, I was a very different woman, because I grew up during the marriage. You know, I became a woman. I was like 20, and then I got divorced at 32. So that's a very different woman at that point. So then I started to date, and I was like, wow, what do I don't even know, like what, because I grew up in this relationship. So I wonder, from your perspective, do you see that you're very different as a woman and the needs that you have from a man than you were when you initially got married, you know, to your ex-husband?
Well, now I'm gonna be honest. You know, now I have been enjoying learning myself. I have been enjoying loving on my children and making priority. When it comes to what I think that I want in a partner, I think it's very similar to the same thing I wanted when I was 20.
Okay. What characteristics were you looking for then? What was it that you wanted? And we're just gonna, this is about Melody. We're not gonna focus on, we're just gonna call him the ex, but what were you looking for at that age? And then I'll just ask you, what would you be looking for now?
So they are pretty much the same. I enjoy quality time. I very much so am a person who enjoys physical touch. Someone would have to definitely be a person who is affectionate. And doesn't have a problem expressing that, because I've always been a physical touch kind of person. That's my top love language. And I enjoy quality time. So like when Martell and I got together, you know, we went on one date, and after that first date, every day he was calling me, you want to go to the park? You want to go to the movie? You want to, like, we became inseparable pretty quick.
Right. He was locking it in.
Yeah, absolutely. So that same kind of energy, maybe not quite every day, because I do have 4 children now.
Right. You've got other stuff happening right now.
Yeah. So I mean, not every day, but definitely someone who enjoys quality time. And I love moments. I love things that you put together or that happen that are things you'll always remember. Not just typical normal stuff that everybody does when they're dating, but I love to create moments. So loyalty, protection, someone who has drive to make things happen, and that kind of go get it kind of mentality. The same thing I wanted then is the same thing I would look for now.
Are there any things that you learned about your ex while you guys were together that you realized, I would not want that aside from the cheating, so we know
Yeah.
that. But are there any other qualities that you saw in him that you thought, you know what, I don't like that, and I would not want that moving forward?
Absolutely. So one thing in Male Learning Male,
Mhm.
I've realized is that I had to become defensive. Um,
Mhm.
I had to learn to defend myself verbally. Because if not, I would have been crying every day. If I was a super sensitive person with some of the things said to me, I'd be crying every day. So
Yeah.
it forced me to become defensive. And that
Mhm.
comes off sometimes, as, oh, you.
Hold on, we can't hear it. I think your phone.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I can't see you. Okay, there we go. So
Okay.
it got to the point, oh, you cursed me out, well, I'm gonna curse you back out. And
Yeah.
so it put me in a place that I'd never been in. Looking back at it, relationships I had prior, I never had to do that. I never. So I would say people can bring out the best in you, or people can bring out the worst in you. And
True.
so outside of the cheating, I know that I would want someone who gives me the ultimate respect.
Mhm.
And that in turn makes me love to want to respect them back,
Yeah. I like that. So you're saying you're not going to tell, have you started that process of being open to being out there and dating again yet? Are you ready for that?
Well, what I've been doing, honestly, I've just been enjoying people, learning people, loving to get to hear and see different people's, different sides of people.
Mhm.
I am not, I will say, I know that I'm not necessarily looking for marriage. I still believe in marriage.
Mhm.
Me personally, that's not an end goal of mine. So,
Yeah.
I've just been enjoying learning people.
Yeah, well, you continue to do that. That is good to do. Take your time with it. I am going to ask you one last question about that, because I think I like.
One last
I got to. I got to. One last question, but this one's fun. If you could pick a celebrity crush, and I'm sure you've met a lot of them by now, so maybe somebody that you haven't met or whatever, but that just would have, and we don't know what people are like behind closed doors, but from their persona, what are you attracted to? Like, if you could kind of give us an idea of what your type would be, what would that look like?
Listen, now they got all of us loving Morris Chestnut, because they always have him in these damn movies being good with them words and all that stuff.
Yes.
Sexy in every dang on movie he's in. So
Yes.
that
But can I tell you something? I've met him and worked with him a couple of times. I'm very good friends with his publicist. And the crazy thing about Morris,
are you talking about Jocelyn?
Jocelyn, yes. Yes.
Girl, we was just talking last week. That's my girl. Oh my
God. So we when I first met him, she introduced us, but she said, and we talk offline, about clients. He honestly is as good as he comes across.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's just an amazing guy, that in one of the few, because a lot of celebrities, I'll think something about them and then you meet him and it's like, I don't like that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he is somebody that the more you're around him, the more his wife is a very blessed woman, because he is an amazing guy and he carries himself with integrity. And that is he's hands down, that's a great example, because I have never, and trust me, I've called Jocelyn like, are you sure?
About this, but no,
are you sure he really? And she's like, no, like, I've been with him the whole time. He is just a good man around. So all that beautiful chocolatiness outside is just as beautiful inside, which is great. So yeah, that's a great celebrity crush for all of us to have, because he's got the inside that matches the outside, and has been that way consistent. He's for years. Went married to his wife and so respectful and loving towards her publicly for years. So good job. That you're gonna be all right, Melody S. Holt. You got everything that you need. Yes, ma'am. So tell us. I know we don't have much more time. I love talking to you, because I think there's so many women that watch this that really are inspired by your strength. What do you think what are the highlights? Because we saw that trailer, and the trailer, there's so much that we could talk about from that trailer, but what are some of the things that you're looking forward to hearing the viewers see? You know, some of the things that you're excited for us to actually get a chance to see this season.
Well, I think there's a lot going on for everyone. So, you know, I think that's going to be interesting. You guys see Destiny's going to be making a huge announcement. You also see, you know, a new cast being introduced, Tiffany and Lou. So I think that's going to be great. They're a great addition to the cast. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think you guys are just going to continue to see each of us working through things that we didn't get to finish working through before COVID, you know?
Right.
So I think it's going to be great. You guys are definitely in for a roller coaster of a ride. Carlos King.
Yes, he did. He definitely knows what he's doing. Last question, Melody. What advice would you give? And I have to ask you this because, like I said, the comments always reflect that. What advice would you give to someone that sees your strength and wants to see themselves in that place, but just, you know, isn't there yet? You know, what can you give someone that they can do behind the scenes to kind of help them get to that space where they're able to start to feel that confidence and become their best self like you've been able to do?
Absolutely. So what I would say is focus on growing spiritually. Focus on listening to your intuition and be able to understand when God is telling you to go. You know, I got to go, God, go, right? And that's very dear to my heart because that's real. There's never a moment where anyone should be able to tell you to walk away or to stay. It should literally be when God says go. And so I would encourage you all to, like I said, just work on learning yourself, look within, increase your levels of spirituality, increase the vibrations and the energy around you. Pray, pray often, and then allow yourself to hear your answer. And the answer may not be always exactly what you want it to be, but open to receive the answer and accordingly.
Well, I said that was the last question, but I got to ask you one more just because the last time you were here, your little mama was there with you. She was not going to let mama loose for the interview. How are your babies doing? Tell us a little bit about what they've been doing since COVID and all this stuff has happened. Now we're back at summer vacation, actually.
Absolutely. You know, they are growing. They're doing well. Melanie is fitting right in with her 3 siblings and, you know, trying to take over the show. Okay. They're doing well. I'm looking forward, honestly, to you guys seeing them and seeing how they are, you know, doing with the transition. I think it's important to authentically show what it looks like when a family truly is separated. So for anybody out there who is playing relate with their marriage, with their life, or whatever the case may be, you might want to watch this and see how everyone is truly affected. I think that you have 2 people who brought families together, maybe built and created families by having children. And then that's no longer. So what does that look like? You know, how is everyone affected? So, you know, my prayer is that our story in some way helps others who are on the fence or who are not through consequences that can come from their decisions and to move forward to be a better them.
I like that. I used to always tell people you can watch someone that could be your ghost of Christmas past or your ghost of Christmas future. If you get it right, see what this looks like. And if that's not what you want, then correct that behavior. Well, Melody, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a little sneak peek as we get ready to get into this new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Can you let people know when they can see it and, of course, where they can follow you at on social media?
Absolutely. So follow me, guys, on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Melody Holt. Love and Marriage Huntsville, only on the Oprah Winfrey Network, premiering this Saturday, July 17th at 9/8 Central Standard Time. So make sure you guys tune in. We're going to give you some marriage, love, and business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this Monday, Melody. We'll definitely be tuning in Saturday, and hopefully we'll see you later this season. Make sure you send us that video so we can make sure to share that with our audience as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Crystal.
All right. See you next time.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Back-to-back reality checks, a little bit off schedule, but like I said, we'll definitely wait for Melody Holt. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We have more coming this week. Like I said, we have some of the cast from Ready to Love that are going to stop by and give us their after the reunion remarks. So definitely stay tuned to rolling out for that. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. There's good content. We have some good interviews coming up throughout the rest of the week. Trust me. And then next week we have some special surprises in store for you guys then as well. As always, I love you for watching. This has been your host, Crystal Jordan. Melody gave us so many great reality checks for tonight. So definitely we appreciate that wisdom and that strength from her. I think we all can take some of those words as we go out into the rest of our week. So I will see you guys later this week. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you next time.